Hello, my name is Stephen Kennedy, and I am the developer of Goblin Puncher Extreme, also known as Goblin Puncher Blood Feud. Here we are at the opening screen, which you will find whenever you load up the website. Is your job boring? Feel like you aren't making your mark? Is the system working against you? Don't get the respect you know you deserve? We know you deserve it too. Come join us on Planet Adventure, where you can make your own destiny. Adventure awaits. So, before we get into the game, I want to tell you a little bit about what it is. Goblin Puncher is a game that I have been making since I had a TI-83 Plus calculator. I was really bored during a test one day, and I decided that I was going to start making an RPG. Um, it didn't go very well. I think I made the level up function, and that's about it. But after that, the idea just kind of stuck with me, and then I got into Minecraft and computer craft, and I started designing games to keep myself busy while quarries were running in Tekkit. Anyway, eventually it got to the point where the emulated processors in computer craft weren't running the calculations fast enough for me, which is probably saying a lot more about my code than it is about the processors in computer craft. I'm just going to be honest about that. So I ported it over to JavaScript. And now we are sitting at 4,018 lines of code, and we have a randomly generated text-based roguelike. I'm actually really proud of where we're sitting right now. We're at version 1.2.4, I believe. Recent additions include save functionality and a bunch of color coding so that you can skim really fast. But enough of me just talking about the features. I want to show you a little bit of what's going on here. So we click sign you up. The game has automatically generated a nice little backstory for you. It looks like I am a female named Gravel McCampbell, excuse me, and I'm 19 years old. Looks like my rival is a person named Pear, who busted in and gave me a friendship bracelet that said never. And now I've invoked the sacred right of Blood Feud. Alright, so let's get into the game proper. Couple of things to note here. I'm going to go ahead and change it to the widescreen layout and actually take advantage of the entirety of the screen that I have access to. And I know that I'm going to be compressing this video a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the font size. Hopefully that will make it a little easier to see what's going on. So I'm going to go back to the game. I've got decent stats. I can probably make a good run of this. So now we're on the adventure screen. As you can see, we've got, after all your wandering, you find yourself at the Forgotten Ruins. That's the setting of the fight. The game randomly chooses a setting, and that actually dictates a couple of things. Later on, I'm going to implement a system for impromptu weapons, where you can pick things up from the set and use them to fight if you don't have a weapon of your own. But right now, it does control whether or not there is weather, and whether or not things can catch on fire. And those are both important. You'll see. Let's see. We're fighting a bat holding a pig hoof. So that he's carrying a weapon, which is important, and it's gravel skin. That's the material it's made out of, which is also important for the fighting calculations. And I just got my ass handed to me. As you can see, damage is done in red. This is to help you when you're kind of skimming through. At the beginning of the game, it creates a lot of text, and it's really fun to read it. But I know if you play it as often as I do, sometimes you just want to blast through, and that's why I colored these texts to make it easier to do that. But I've exploded, so we're going to have to restart the game. And now I'm Rudolph Dumbkimmel, and I'm a 138-year-old female. Alright, let's see if I can do a little bit better this time. A chicken holding a spoon. Alright, I have like no accuracy, so I don't think this is going to go very well. It's snowing outside, by the way. Yeah, no, the chicken is hitting me, and I am not hitting it. We're going to go ahead and run. There is a 100% escape rate, so don't ever feel like you can't run from something if you don't think you're going to beat it. I added that in because there are a lot of monsters in this game that will kill you in one hit. A lot of times the fighting is, I like to think of it as fencing. It's fast, and you don't get a whole lot of attacks in, but it can be very satisfying. Rotten Fruit Bowl. I don't think I'm going to get lucky here. Just go ahead and kill me. There we go. Get something with a little bit of stats. Alright, so I am now Dr. Garian motherfucker. Alright. We can deal with these. These aren't great stats, but hopefully... Okay. So you see this purple text is probably kind of hard to see in the video on YouTube. We'll see how well the compression goes. That means that we've run into a named monster. That's, well, again, one of the color codes so that when you're skimming you get all the information you need. Snaggle the chicken. Now what's special about the named monsters is that they give you more fame if you beat them, which is the currency of the game. I haven't gotten any fame yet, so we haven't talked about it. But in addition, they also have the potential to be much, much harder. They also all carry weapons, and their weapons are a little bit better than the weapons you can find on normal monsters. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and run from this guy. Oh, and apparently I went on an adventure. Be careful. The double-clicking can get you into trouble. I've tried to minimize button placement where you're not going to do anything that you can't get yourself out of fairly easily if you double-click, but it is a problem. I'm looking into different solutions for that. See. Faux rice dinner. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's our first victory. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and equip this rice dinner. Let's see, what do I want to learn? Right now, my lowest stats are speed and defense. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my defense, because that's going to give me an HP bonus. And my weapon is basically no better than my hands, as you can see. But, because we have some fame, we can go ahead and start our family. Now, family is a really important portion of Goblin Puncher. First of all, let's go have our child. In a drunken stupor, you hooked up with an attractive male by the name of Professor Lewis Rock in the night. You are now a proud parent. Your daughter, Nicholas Motherfucker, has been born. Alright, so, as far as the game is concerned, name and gender are irrelevant, so it just chooses names from an array, and your gender is just assigned at birth. In addition to that, the game does not care that... It doesn't care about gay marriage or anything like that. You can have babies coming from two men, two women, a man and a woman. All of that. Anyway, what is important to note about this is now we have a kid running around our house. What this means is that that child has its own stats, and as we progress through the game we can choose to train them in order to make them more powerful, and then essentially they are an extra life. If we die in battle, we can live on through them, get their stats, and then proceed through the game like that. However, there's a downside to that, because that rival that we talked about at the beginning, they have stats that are generated at the very beginning of the game, and if we adopt a dog, these stats right here are pulled directly from your rival. Every time that you take the place of your child, those stats are regenerated based upon your child's stats. So, the most efficient way to beat this game is what I've been calling a Gen 1 run. It takes me about an hour, maybe a little less, but once this game starts going, it goes fairly fast. So we have no fame now because we spend it all on our kid. We've got fairly decent stats. We've got a really crappy weapon, and I did not get rid of that dog. Alright, so... Harpy... it's hitting me back. See, now you're gonna see. We are gonna go ahead and live on through Nicholas. Now watch our stats really carefully. We've got a strength of 9, speed of 2, defense of 3, and an accuracy of 5. And now those have changed. We're going to go ahead and release the dog, and we're going to adopt him again, and I want you to see that the stats are slightly different. We're going to go ahead and release the dog because I find him annoying. Go ahead and start ourselves a family. so that we can keep this run going. Something else that's interesting to note, we do track all of your actions in the game through the family history. As you can see, we arrived, I started my rivalry. Every named monster that you encounter gets written to the history. It tracks when I gave birth, and then I was killed. That's the total of number of enemies that I killed in my life. As you can see, it's not a very exciting life, but here we are to the next generation. Nicholas has given birth. In addition to that, we can actually go over here, and any named enemy that we encounter gets their own history. And as you can see, some of these enemies have been around for quite a while. Let's see. Just the last 4 entries here. Snaggle dated Mark the A Cold Morning Under a Warm Blankets at age 93. Snaggle 8 Jim the Adventurer Whole. And they got a job as a professor, and they cheated off Troy the Oak Tree. Alright. Going on an adventure here. Gremlin holding drugs. Now you know that things are gonna go wrong when you encounter a gremlin holding drugs. It's not good. And wow. Apparently my attack is doing jack shit to this guy. He is not. Wow. Alright. So you see where it says right here, the wind is blowing fiercely? That is a chance within the weather system. And if one of us were on fire, where are we as far as the set? We're on a barren mountain, so there's nothing to catch fire on a barren mountain, but if we were, say, in the middle of a forest, it is entirely possible that that wind would spread the fire around us, and then that fire has a chance to not only do damage to both of us, but to spread the fire to me, and I can catch on fire and get damage from that as well. And those things all compound. It can be a very, very chaotic environment. So I don't think I'm going to win this battle. We're going to go ahead and run away from him. Anaga. Yeah, alright. I like that. I really wanted another weapon, but I can deal with the extra speed stat. A P's holding a DM's rulebook. Alright, I want that DM. Oh, no. I am just not doing well. And this is why I decided I was going to record this video today, and obviously the game is trying to hand me my ass to show me that this was a bad idea. Start my family. So, as you can see, once you get that first initial kill or a couple of kills, depending upon if you had to rest your first turn, you can create a family line. And like I said, we're going through, and that it's a roguelike with permadeath. Your characters are abandoned, but I wanted to still give you a sense of progression. Overly chipper morning DJ. Yeah, I'm not gonna. So now we can talk about the rest feature. I've taken some damage here. I'm down to 22 out of my 30 health. I don't have any mana right now, but if I did, this would also restore it. As you can see, there I am, back up to 30. Let's see. Insensitive grizzly bear holding a harmless plutonium. Well. Okay. I'm doing some damage here. Alright. Now we have harmless plutonium. I'm going to go ahead and increase my speed stat. Speed is really important when you have a weapon, because your damage with a weapon is actually decided based upon your speed stat. So now I have an attack of 11, and you're going to see that I'm going to start doing a bunch more damage right there. See that? So now that we have that, we are going to power through here as quickly as possible, because I want to get to the more interesting parts of the game, which are a little bit later on. Depending on how interesting this is, I might just let you watch me flip through this. I may edit the video. So I apologize if I stop talking, because I want to, as you can see, I'm up to 6. I need to get to 15 fame to do what I want to do. And you know what? I am the developer, and I think I am just gonna go ahead and cheat a tad. And you guys are gonna get to see, I don't really care about that. I just want to go to the JavaScript console. open for that. Pardon me, I develop mostly in Chrome, so I'm not quite used to... There we go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to increase my fame here to 15. And we're going to go back to the house as if we were coming back from a battle. Now, you can use these cheats to your own benefit. They are not unlocked. So we're going to go ahead and build ourselves, turn this off for now, build ourselves a questing quarry. Now the questing quarry is interesting because we're going to go here, and let's see, somebody is waiting for us. Selma, the serial jaywalker, is leaning idly against the problem post. Howdy! See, harvest is pretty darn terrible. So naturally that means I've got to get a teeth cleaning, which is where you come in. I need you to kill one mushroom, so how about it? I ain't leaving till it's done, so... So, these quests are pretty much all monster killing quests. I'm planning on changing that around in future updates. But this is a way for you to make a lot of fame quickly. You go here, there's a person who has a problem that's completely unrelated to what they're going to ask you to do, and all that's randomly generated, so if you want to sit there and read it, it can be some pretty funny stuff. But for the purpose of this, we need to go kill one mushroom. And this is where color coding happened again. As you can see, if you wander into a quest monster while you're adventuring around, it will show up in yellow right here. This is again so that you can very quickly flick through the way I was doing just now. We're going to go ahead and fight this. Alright, so we did that. Oh, I may not have read the critical messages out before, but they can be pretty amusing. Using your black material, you summon Asteroid. The mushroom dutifully sits through about 10 minutes of animation and build-up before taking mind-bending amounts of damage. Critical. You kill the mushroom, you gain some fame. You take the mushroom's head as proof for Selma. Your quest is completed. Selma will tell everyone about your aid. You gained even more fame. So now I have 0 fame. I'm going to go ahead and level up my accuracy, and now I have 11 fame. I gained 1 fame for killing the monster and 10 fame for completing the quest. And the way that this works is it randomly chooses a number of monsters for you to fight, and then it bases the fame reward based upon the number of monsters. In addition, there are, I want to say over 100 monster types in this game, and since the game randomly chooses which monster you're going to encounter, I've actually changed it so that whenever you're on a quest, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to run into the quest monster that you're supposed to run into. That way you're not sitting there forever waiting. That can still happen, but it's a lot more rare. I'm thinking about you guys. I'm trying to design the game to be fun. Just, you know. Let's see. A dwarf holding a duck. You know, not really my kind of thing. Oh, an octopelagic octopus. Here we go. Kim the burrito really wants to hurt me. I don't think I'm ready to face Kim the burrito. Come on. Like I was saying, sometimes running into a quest monster can take forever. Here we go. We're fighting human compassion. Alright. We beat human compassion. Everybody, you heard it here first. Human compassion is dead. Oh, let's see here. Another one. Oh, we're going to complete our quest in one fell swoop. Good. That is what I wanted, because I wanted to show you some of the other systems we have in place. We are going to go ahead and build ourselves a smithy. This is one of my favorite places. From the mountains, you've drugged the iron. With heavy blows and surging flames, you've forged the forged. You've smithed the smithy. Now, any buildings that you build in your house do continue on to all of your children should you die. This is important. Again, it's the progression I was talking about. So now that we've got a smithy, we have the option... Oh yeah, by the way, we can throw our weapons. I really like this one so far, so I don't know... You know what? No, we're going to throw it. Oh! Yes! Alright, so I threw my harmless plutonium at the snow-covered cowboy, doing 2,175 points of damage. My harmless plutonium sinks deep into the snow-covered cowboy's flesh, which is sad because now it's embedded, so I can't get it back. But now I'm equipping my hand, and I've tossed my hand into the air with a casual flip. I check a few messages on my phone before roundhouse kicking the hand into the snow-covered cowboy's throat. Critical. But I can equip the single-slot toaster as kind of a consolation prize. It's not a great attack, but you know what? I have a solution to that. Let's find another one. Here we go, a fake magic wand. We're going to keep this fake magic wand for scrap, because what that means is we can go over here to the smithy, and now, for 1 inspiration and 5 fame, we can upgrade our single-slot toaster. In the heat of the forge, you bring together your single-slot toaster and your fake magic wand. You force the weapons together, leaving behind a hammer-rust single-slot toaster of much greater quality. There is an engraving on the hilt. It seems to be of Grapple's arrival on adventure. Your new single-slot toaster has 19 attack points. So this is a good way to upgrade your weapons. Monster weapons are decided based upon your strength attribute when you encounter them, but what that means is, compared to the damage you can do by yourself, the weapons are always going to be kind of crappy. But with the smith, you can make it ridiculously powerful. In addition to this, we were talking about how the named monster weapons are a little bit more special. That is because they have special attributes attached to them, and every time you upgrade your weapon, those attributes are sent over to your stats and give you bonuses that way. And sometimes they carry poisoned weapons, and poison can be really, really useful sometimes because it will continuously do damage to the monster even if you're missing. Alright, so now we've got to level up our forge skills here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with temp control. Alright, so I'm sitting pretty nice. I've got 10 fame here. I'm going to go ahead and go on another quest just to give myself a little bit more fame. Alright. Come on. Quest monster. Zombie. Alright. Gotta go ahead and keep that pike for scrap. Upgrade. Now, you saw right here where it says this is an engraving on the hilt. It seems to be the death of Garion. It does pull all of those information, all of those events from your family history, so the more times that you have interesting things like that happen, the more variants there are going to be in the engravings on the hilt of your weapons. That's also where inspiration comes from. I believe inspiration can be gained from encountering named monsters, defeating named monsters, when you put your kid up for adoption, when you sacrifice your kid, which we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get there. I'm not remembering off the top of my head the other ways that you can get inspiration. Killing named monsters, though, is really, really important, because when you are a dick to your kids, you get dick move points, which is basically this game's idea of karma and karmic retribution. It is a fairly simple system right now, because if you have too many dick move points, you will get an automatic failure anytime you try to upgrade your weapon, and in addition, both weapons will disappear and you'll just be left with nothing, which is a pretty big deal late game. But the biggest way to get dick move points is to sacrifice your kids, which adds their stats to yours, so it's really kind of a risk-reward situation. But if you do have a whole bunch of dick move points, if you go on a hunting spree and kill a whole bunch of named monsters, that will gradually reduce the number that you have stored in that variable. So, you know, you can be an asshole, but if you go and make the world a little bit of a safer place, it'll all even out, you know. Go home. So we've got 31 attack weapon here. We are actually doing pretty well for this run. You may actually see me defeat the rival. And I'm really hoping now that the rival battle wasn't broken by a couple of our last updates. Because like I said, I added the ability here to save the game, which I will demonstrate right now. Normally, when you refresh, you're back to this screen, and you get a whole new character. However, if we go here and we load our game, bam, here we are, right back where we left it. This uses local storage built into your browser, which means that unfortunately it is dependent upon which browser you open the game with and what device you're on. There is currently no way to port saves between your phone and your desktop, but this is fully mobile compatible. I even, in the display options here, have a mobile layout that kind of increases the space for the buttons so you can increase the font size, and if you have fat fingers like I do, you're not going to be accidentally pressing the wrong thing. We're going to go back to the widescreen layout here, and I think we were, was it 2 bigger? Yeah, I think we were 2 font sizes bigger. Alright, so I think I'm on a quest. Yep, Evan the Zombie. And we have a kid, we've got a decent weapon, we've got a fair amount of hit points. I think we're going to go ahead and try to tackle our first named enemy. I'm doing a lot of missing here. Okay, we won. So, one of the first real errors that I have yet to squash out is that when you are on a quest, unfortunately you can't pick up weapons from named enemies if they are the quest object. I don't know why this is. I've looked that code over a bunch of times, and by all accounts it should be giving you the option to equip. I'm guessing that something is executing before it can draw that button, so I'm going to reorder things around. It is something that I'm aware of and working on. It is, however, relatively minor to the enjoyment of the game, so I'm not putting it on the top of my priorities. Alright, so we have all of our stuff. We're going to go ahead and search for a named monster now, because I want to show you what those weapons do. Unfortunately, this can take a while, because I think it's a 1 in 10 chance that you run into these guys. Again, this is why I've color-coded things, to make it much easier to do what I'm doing. A really advanced playing tip that I've come up with as the developer is that the run button here, if you stick it right here to the left of the R, you're over the adventure button. So if you're just double-clicking here, you're not going to get yourself into any trouble, and you can kind of see what you're up against before you decide that you want to fight. Up there we go. Sips the Goblin, it looks like is going to be our guy. We're going to fight him. Ah! And we win in 1 hit at 84 points of damage. That's really interesting. I have 2,000 hit points and he has 84. I may have to rebalance that. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and keep our existential crisis, increase our accuracy, go to the smithy, and upgrade ourselves. Now we have 4 bonus speed points, and every time I upgrade this weapon, those 4 bonus speed points are shot right into our stat. Which, as I've told you, speed helps determine how much damage we're doing with a weapon rather than strength. So, that's actually really, really good. Oh, alright, we're going to go ahead. Our Biter Peppermint Existential Crisis. We're going to go ahead and beat him up with our Existential Crisis now. Oh, poked me, doing 54 points of damage. It's okay. I got plenty more health where that came from. We're going to keep the question mark for scrap. Accuracy, go to the smithy. Alright, now we've got 8 bonus strength points and 8 bonus speed points. This weapon is getting awesome. Tape secrets. So, you know how it determines the attack? Basically, it does temp control plus precision plus hammer skill divided by 3, and then it multiplies that number by tape secrets. I'm telling you how all of the algorithms work so that you can really abuse the systems and get powerful really quickly, because it's a lot of fun. So, and they are just throwing named creatures at me right and left. I almost wish that I had been an asshole so that I could get the full benefit I have a lot of accuracy. When did that happen? Okay. Alright. Alright. I'm not gonna complain. I'm hoping that we're gonna get like a poison weapon here soon, because I wanna abuse the console again and show you how poison can affect a fight. Eh. Well, we've got a bunch of fame right now. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna build a desk. The desk is useful because, especially later on in the game when you're doing a, we'll call it a round of sacrifices, you're going to get a lot of inspiration, and here at the desk you can trade your inspiration for fame. As you can see, it costs exactly 1 inspiration to write a novel, so we're going to do that. My brand new speculative fiction, Civil Lawsuit. The book seems to be about the time Garion gave birth to Nicholas. Modern Novelist rated this book at a 1, the Newport Times rated this book at a 1, and finally the Parfait, the Jokesters, rated it at 1. Your average rating is 1. So, again, this is another one where it's basically these divided by 3 times this is how much fame you get. So, we're going to go ahead and upgrade my diction here, and we're going to write another novel. As you can see, this influenced this stat, and now I'm getting that. I'm going to upgrade my poetics. I'm going to write another novel. My average rating is still crappy. There is some randomness into the stats that you're getting, because this game is all built upon random number generators. What would it be if I didn't have random? And style. So now I write the next one, and everything is just a little bit better. Style is a really important stat, but it does you no good if you haven't upgraded the other stats at all. Style is the lowest anyway. Anyway, so as you can see, I've gained quite a bit of fame. It took us 20, I believe we were sitting at 44 fame when we went in there, and it took us 20 to build that, so we were at 14, which means that we've gained a little less than 20 fame back. Let's see, we'll go ahead and build ourselves a summoning circle. We won't be able to use it yet, but we have a solution. We'll go ahead and, I think we just gained 20 fame, if I am not mistaken. Yup. Alright. So now we're going to summon a demon. This is one of 2 ways that you can summon a demon. And I'm going to be real honest with you, I think I'm about to die. You call from the tips of your fingers to the skins of your toes. You call with the crackling diction of thunder and the bright burning plosives of fire. Something answers. A chill wind blows through your house. An alcohol addiction appears, holding a katana. Its pewter skin is glowing with faint hellish light. What do you do? Well, we're gonna fight it. You slice the alcohol addiction with your existential crisis, vaporizing it, and doing 643 points of damage. That is actually very impressive. It hits me, but it's barely a glancing blow. This could be a sign that the alcohol addiction doesn't have a high enough strength stat to damage us, to overcome our defense stat, that is. But it could also be a fluke. So we're gonna go ahead and fight it again. And we won. Okay. So this is not the way that these battles usually go. Demons are a fantastic late game enemy because they have so much health. It's ridiculous. Now, doing it this way is really inefficient because unless you run into a named demon, you're not going to get enough fame back to really pay for the fame expense that you had to do to summon them. But it does give you a good way to test certain battle abilities, the spells that we'll get into a little bit later on, as soon as I get enough fame to buy myself what is needed. Speaking of which, we're going to go ahead and go on another quest. Fight this Mangle Bells, get that all taken care of. One more quest, maybe. 3 bats. I think I can do that. I think we can take it water the bat. Alright, so now we're at 65, which means we can build an enchantment hut and a taco spell. We're going to go ahead and build the taco spell. Alright, we have 15. I think, as you can see, now that we've built that, we do have 10 mana. I think I'm going to go on another quest for enchanted hats. Let's hope this doesn't take forever. I'm just going to start cheating again. Oh, I like this. I like it when they all pop up like... As you can see, I think I said I was going to cheat a little bit more, but I actually really enjoy this game quite a bit. I know that's a little bit masturbatory, but I've made a game here that I actually enjoy playing, and I think that's actually a very good sign of the quality, and it makes me very proud of what I've done. So now we've got 59 fame, so we're going to go into the taco spell. You step inside the clinically decorated space, a pastel wall with a speaker in it greets you. Those idiots over in the enchantment hut, trademarked, are giving away their products for free. Man, they're weird, stupid and weird. The speaker says this without any hint of disingenuousness. Here, reality begins to bend as you stare up at the black menu. Choose one, it says. So, we can buy ourselves some Tex-Mex healing, some California-style lightning, some Southwest fire, or we can upgrade our mana. For the sake of showing off the weather, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy ourselves the Southwest fire. And we're going to go back in there, and we're going to buy the Tex-Mex healing, and then we're going to go back in there, and we're going to upgrade our mana. Now we have 15 mana. Ooh. We're going to go... And we're going to take advantage of the fact that going to the options menu takes a day. And now it's our birthday. See? It is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. I am so happy for you. Alright. That aside, we're going to go in here. As you can see, we now have spells in our fight menu. Another issue is that for the first round of combat in the demon encounters, you will not have a full fight menu. I haven't decided fully if this is something that I'm going to change, or if I'm going to write it into the fiction that the demons can kind of suppress your magic for a little while. We'll see. I'm going back and forth on it a little bit. I do know why it's doing that. I wrote a combat menu function that I've been using for everything else, but when I originally wrote the demon encounters, I was manually writing the button calls each and every time that they happened. So, anyway. Let's see here. An overly aggressive animatronic nativity Jesus. It's Candy Skin. Well, Candy isn't gonna be super affected by fire, but we just got it, so we're gonna use it anyway. Alright. And apparently the 86 points of damage that we did were more than enough to kill it. So as you can see, regular enemies at this point in the game, I mean, I'm not even absurdly powerful yet, and they are stupidly easy to kill. Resting will regenerate my mana, as you can see here. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can't... There we go. And extraordinarily uneasy. Simon the Cow is waiting for me, holding an arm. That is... You know, that's a little bit grisly. I'm gonna go ahead and fire a pillar. Flame licks. Flames, alright. So, we have caught this cow on fire. And we are in a glade, too. Oh, I actually think that I can show you the fire spread. So we're going to go ahead and heal. Obviously, healing is outlined in green, so you know this is beneficial. The cow is on fire. It is sunny. We are actually, I think, going to have to cheat again, because I did not upgrade my mana as much as I should have. So we're going to go into Hero, and we're going to go current mana, and we're going to set that to 2,000. That way it's not a permanent upgrade, it's just for the sake of this battle. Alright. And we are also abusing what I know about the systems of the game. The cow won't die, I don't believe, unless I actually engage it in combat. And the reason that that is the way that it is because I, for the sake of being able to do this, only call the death function when we are in actual direct combat. When I'm healing, it kind of supersedes my turn of combat, which is where the cow would die. So that I could test things like... Oh, I've been decapitated, by the way. I know I'm talking a lot for somebody who doesn't have a head, but... It is sunny, it is sunny. I know we're outside. There we go. The wind is blowing fiercely. The fire spreads from the cow to the nearby trees. The raging fire around you and the cow burns you both, doing 12,389 damage. As you can see, I am very nearly dead. So, this game has a fairly simplified combat simulation, but it does do some really interesting things. Depending upon the material, the reason the cow caught on fire is because plastic is one of the materials that the game knows can catch on fire, and so there's a chance anytime you hit it with a fire pillar that it's going to do just that and begin combusting. So we're going to go ahead and just end this. And we're going to keep this arm for scrap. Hopefully it will show you the poison. And as you can see, when you level up, you gain all of your hit points back. Nope. We got some bonus accuracy points, but no cigar on the poison. But that is okay, because... Let's see, what did I...